Well, Happy New Year. Today's January 1st, 2023, and I am sitting outside because it's unusually warm today in Oklahoma. So you'll have to put up with the noise in the background, but I just wanted to sit outside. I am really feeling very betwixt and between this year about it already being 2023. There is a little bit of me that's just sad to see 2022 go. It was absolutely the most amazing. I've had some amazing years and some amazing encounters with the Lord. My adventure with Him just keeps getting better. And so 2022 was absolutely off the charts for me. With several things that He invited me to join Him in, just fun. And so, so I'm just having mixed emotions. I wanted to share one of those things, one of the encounters I had with Him, adventures that I had with Him this year. And for those of you who don't believe that you can hear the Lord speak to you, this is going to seem really bizarre. And even, I'm going to be honest, even for myself, there were some moments in 2023 that in 2022, that I literally heard Him more clearly, just in a beautiful way. And just engaged in so many different ways that were beautiful. But to encourage you, not to brag or say, look at me, but to encourage you to believe for yourself that you can hear His voice, that He really is the God who still speaks. He didn't stop speaking once the last verse in Revelation was written, right? He's still speaking, and He is always wooing us. We're just so busy and distracted. I am so busy and distracted so much of the time. I can't even imagine. It would break my heart to know how many times He was speaking and I didn't hear Him because I was not leaning in and setting my intention to make space for Him to talk. So this was one of those moments that I did this year. I literally was sitting on my living room couch, and I was purposely making space to have conversation with Him. A week before this, I had also done the same thing, and there are times when He says things to me that I'm just like, you're going to have to give me scripture because I think I'm hearing you, but I have to know that I'm hearing you, right? And so a week prior to the event that I'm going to talk about, I was having one of those moments with Him, and I felt like I had asked Him for confirmation for something He said. And when I turned to that Bible verse, it was, wasn't anywhere close. I could not connect the dots, right? And I remember Him saying to me that day, Janet, every time you miss it, are you just going to stop trying? And I thought, oh, no. I'll keep pressing in because I know I hear you. Sometimes I just don't hear you well. So I'll keep pressing in. So anyway, so I'm sitting on the couch a week later, and I'm making space intentionally for Him and I just to have a conversation. In this season of time, He, actually for the last several years, He has been having this conversation with me of how I don't see myself the way He sees me. And that I see myself as this little old me. So the word M-E, all lowercase, right? And He is determined to help me see that because I am in Him and He is in me and we are in the Father, then we are we with a capital W. And He's been salting and peppering my life for a few years, trying to help me see myself the way He sees me. And apparently He sees me as we. But I keep going back to my default of just seeing me as me. So this night, I'm sitting on the couch, and I asked Him, what would you like to talk about? And I heard him say, felt like I heard him say, Janet, you've got to stop seeing yourself as me and see yourself as we. And I was like, I know, I'm trying, right? So we have this conversation, and he's talking, I'm talking. I'm not hearing him audibly. I'm hearing him in my heart of hearts. Which can't happen unless you believe you can, right? Without faith, you just can't do it. He's a personal God, and he wants to have a relationship with us, and he wants to be heard just like he wants to hear us, right? So we're having conversation, and I ask him a question, and all of a sudden it's crickets. And I'm like, and then, 45 seconds, maybe a minute, he answers my question, and I'm thinking, oh no. Nope. I'm just making this all up. Because even though I know I hear his voice, even though I know I've heard his voice, I still fight with this concept that I'm little old me, right? And so I really kind of got flustered, because I thought, Lord, you were inviting me. Not even just inviting me, but you were really commanding me to start walking on earth and in the spiritual realm at the same time, so that I can hear you as I walk through life the way Jesus did. And I'm like, so this is what you're requiring of me. But if our conversation goes silent for 45 seconds or a minute, how can I ever trust that I'm hearing you? And I decided just to end our session for the night and go to bed. And and as I did, I felt him say, Janet, you said the next time that you didn't hear from me clearly, you were going to press through. And I thought, okay. So we kept conversing, and it was time for bed. And I'm still frustrated. To be honest, I've probably not been frustrated with him but a couple of times, and this was one. But I was frustrated. I'm like, you're requiring this of me. You're inviting me into this. I want it, but it feels wonky sometimes, right? Just wonky. So anyway, I'm frustrated. I go to bed. I lay down in bed, pull the covers up, and I learned years ago when I had a neighbor who vacuumed at 2 o'clock in the morning, I learned to sleep with a pillow on my head. So I'm pulling the pillow on my head. The room's totally pitch dark, right? And I'm frustrated. And I said, Lord, okay, if you are asking me to believe that I can have conversation with you and I can hear your voice, and you're asking me to stay in that place as I walk earth, then I have got to know that I know that I'm hearing from you. And I said, I'm going to ask for something that I would never dare to ask for, but I'm asking that you would send a falling star through my bedroom, or a small meteorite or something. Just really obnoxious is what I was. I was really testing him. Vulnerability, it's the way to go. But no, so I said, Lord, I need you to do something drastic so that I know it's you I'm hearing. And I'm not making this up in my head, because ain't nobody got time for that. And talk about disappointment, right? And I hear him laugh. I've just asked for him to send a falling star or meteorite across my bedroom. And I hear him laugh. And he says, well, you might want to take the pillow off your head. I'm like, what? I jerked that thing off my head. Of course, I don't have my glasses on. I'm going to bed, right? And out of the lower left-hand periphery of my vision, I see what looks like a falling star. And now I'm really frustrated. I'm really frustrated because it's like, I think I saw it, but I didn't have my glasses on, so I don't know for sure that I saw it. Plus it all happened as I'm taking the pillow off my head. And so I'm still giving him attitude. And I said, Lord, now I'm really frustrated. Because now I don't even know, did I just see that? First of all, I didn't know if I was really hearing your voice, and now I don't really know if I just saw that. So I said, before I get in trouble, I'm going to bed. So he wakes me up 3 hours earlier than I need to go to work the next morning. When we were having the conversation the night before, and I was hearing him and he was talking, I was talking. I have a little book that my friend sent me. It's a children's book, and it's called I Wish You More. And as we're having this conversation, it's sitting across the room from me. And I sense him highlighting the name of that book. And he even says, Janet, I wish you more. I've always wished you more. You just have to believe me for it. So that morning when I got up and got ready for work, and I started to sit down to have my normal quiet time with him, I saw that book and I thought, you know, he highlighted that book. I probably ought to reread it because, you know, I'd read it several months before. But now all of a sudden it had mystery on it, right? So I sit down and I thumb through the first couple of pages of this children's book called I Wish You More. Now remember, the conversation started the night before with me asking him what he wanted to talk about, and he said, you've got to stop seeing yourself as me and seeing yourself as we. I opened this little beautiful children's book and I get to page 7 and I open it up and it says, I wish you more we, W-E, I wish you more we than me. I was dumbfounded. And then I realized, oh my gosh, was that a falling star that came through my room? And I didn't have my glasses on with my little attitude to see it. I don't know. That's the kind of year that 2022 has been. It's just one of mystery and wonder and adventure. And I know that 2023 is going to be even beyond that. So I pray for you, if you haven't heard his voice, that you would lean in and make space for him, and that you would hear his heart for you, because he loves you. There's nothing special about me, nothing, except for he lives on the inside of me, and I live on the inside of him, and we are in the Father, and we are we, and so are you. Happy New Year.